There are hundreds of Facebook comments on a news story with only sentences of content, and most are just spewing nonsense. There's a flame war the size of Manhattan, the kind that trolls wish for, with a motley crew of patients, family, and the kind of bored people who waste their afternoons reading the news. And I'm sorry. And there's a little girl being called a whore for speaking out while everyone else insists they know what this is really about. It's about the mother. She's a gold digger, and there are all of these things, but there is still no trial for a rapist. And yeah, you can tell me innocent until proven guilty, but I'll just ask you, when are we? Because in a world where only 0.06% of rapists are falsely accused and little girls are being blamed just for touching some booze, while our assaulters cruise through life, we see only pity on the news. Pity because they think it's a ruse, and so they ignore the abuse, and the accuser becomes the accused. There is no trial for a rapist. And yeah, you can insist we should try to persist, but when every second the state resists, every second till 4 years later when the boat's been missed, well, our family just wants this case dismissed. After all, what kind of girl wants to hurt her daddy? And yeah, in this particular case, it wasn't me, and the sister who's been victim doesn't have to see him, but when this is a repeat behavior, he really shouldn't be free, and still, we need him to feed us. Because maybe in your world, you don't have to question the ones you trust, but in ours, there's no one left to hold us up but a pedophile. And still, while the tone of this poem may have fooled you, I love him. Because behind the grim secrets, it's hard to forget the way he permitted me to share his precious popcorn while we watched old westerns, or how when he held me, I felt protected from scorn, or how even just sitting in his favorite spot used to make me feel better. He took me to Borders every weekend to buy that week's supply of books, and even though he'd give me a fake dirty look, he never really stopped me from spending way too much money on the perfect paperbacks. And yeah, when my mom turned to the bottle, I was ready to topple over, to fall apart, but he held me up, the only steady thing in my topsy-turvy world, and that is, until his decisions took it all away. And yeah, in my family of 8 girls and 5 boys, there are 5 who haven't been touched, and I am not one of them, and there are still no trials for our rapists.